We have one team that has risen above the rest this winter, and I'm looking at their acquisition page, and it's like my finger gets tired from having to use the scroll to go all the way down because of everybody they signed. We're looking at, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers, by the way, if you're watching, I didn't specify that. Free agents, Eddie Rosario to a minor league contract. Kirby Yates agreed to a 1-year contract. Tanner Scott, 4-year contract. Haesung Kim, 3-year contract. Teoscar Hernandez re-signed for a 3-year contract. I feel like I'm droning on, but these are all important acquisitions. Michael Conforto, Blake Snell, Giovanni Gallegos had some good years with the Cardinals at one point. It kind of fell off towards the end. And then acquisitions via trade, Mike Sirota and Jose Vasquez. Roki Sasaki. That's another huge one for the Dodgers. I can't believe I almost forgot him. Seth, losses. Who did the Dodgers lose this year?
Let me get there. It seems
Joe Kelly. Wow.
Yeah, they missed a few big names. Joe Kelly, staple in the Dodgers. Hit me with a.
Who was that to again? Do you remember who he was doing that to?
Oh, I believe it was someone on the Astros.
Oh, probably Altuve. It definitely was like Altuve or someone. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, I mean, I hate the Dodgers as much as the next guy, but I think we can all agree that we all hate the Astros, even if you don't.
Yeah.
Everyone should hate the Astros.
I'm indifferent
because they suck. They lost Jack Flaherty.
Yeah.
Jack Flaherty was a big loss for them. Walker Buehler, the closer, Walker Buehler, mind you.
Yeah.
Gavin Lux to the Reds, and a few others here and there. No one else really of name.
Our boy Ryan Brazier, he left the Dodgers to go to the Cubs.
Oh.
Yeah, Frenchman.
Yeah, friend of the show. Friend
of the show. Looking at the starting lineup for the Dodgers, old but stacked. Actually, before we do that, Dodgers last year, 98-64. Their win total was 101 last year, by the way. So underperformed based on those metrics, but won the World Series. So I think they're sleeping okay at night. Hitting, cream of the crop, 4th in average, 2nd on base percentage, 1st in OPS, 2nd in runs, 3rd in home runs, 10th in stolen bases. Starting pitching lacked a little bit. Obviously, Tyler Glasnow didn't pitch the whole year, and Yamamoto had an injury at one point. He had some outings that weren't the best. 19th in ERA, 20th in WHIP, 20th in walks per 9. Decent strikeout rate. And then the relief pitching, 4th in ERA, 5th in WHIP. It's 21st in strikeouts per 9, which is not great. But, they won the World Series, so we can list all those stats. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Starting lineup, Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Michael Conforto, Tommy Edman, Haesung Kim coming over from the KBO. Seth, do you have the starting rotation on hand?
Yeah, starting rotation, as Fangraphs listed right now, you got Yoshinobu Yamamoto, should have been Yankee, Blake Snell, Tyler Glasnow, Roki Sasaki, and Tony Gosselin. That's the 5 we're looking at right now.
My issue with the Dodgers last year was by the time the World Series came around, they were, I wouldn't say decimated, but they were missing some guys. And it was like, do they have the guys to, if it goes 7 deep to do that? They addressed those issues. Those 5 are a very strong 5. I'm excited to see what Sasaki does once regular season play starts. Projected bullpen, Dustin May. He's going to be back. Justin Robleski, Ben Kasparius, Anthony Banda, Alex Vesia, Blake Trinian, Kirby Yates, and then Tanner Scott. What? Kirby Yates to Tanner Scott? That should be illegal.
Blake Trinian to Kirby Yates to Tanner Scott.
No, Alex Vesia to Blake Trinian to Kirby Yates to Tanner Scott.
No, Anthony Banda.
That bullpen should be illegal in like 34 states. It feels like it should be. Look, it's no secret. They won the World Series last year. They only got better via their acquisitions. They get Sasaki, that seems to be who all the hype is around this year, similar to how it was Yamamoto last year. They have the best player in baseball. You know, you look at this lineup, three of their four, the top four of their lineup, three guys are power rated in the top 25 in all of baseball, and that's Hernandez, Freeman, and Ohtani. So I think maybe the bigger question here is the bar too high? Is the bar too high for the Dodgers this year? Like 103 wins is what their win total is. They're minus 650 to win their division. And there's some teams in this division that aren't half bad.
No. To say 103 wins is too high, I would say no. And in all honesty, I would almost say it's too low. I think we're looking at one of the best constructed baseball teams in Major League Baseball history, especially in the current era. I mean, they're signing guys left and right just for the fun of it. I mean, at the time they signed Michael Conforto because they were like, this guy's good. I mean, they didn't necessarily need a left fielder, but they signed him anyway. And I mean, like, outside of him, if you look at their injured players, I mean, you're still looking at fantastic guys. I mean, especially on the pitching side, you got Clayton Kershaw, River Ryan, Emmett Sheehan, Kopech, and Evan Phillips. A lot of those guys are young, but I mean, like, even Brusdar Graterol. They have young guys and they have other guys that are injured that when they come back, it's like, even if they have an injury midway through the season, they can just replace it from the IL. They don't even have to necessarily make roster moves. They don't have to call anyone up. They can just be like, oh, okay. So Clayton Kershaw just got done with his toe surgery. I guess he's back. Michael Kopech, I mean, he's got forearm inflation, but who knows? I mean, like, we've seen what happens in the AL East with forearm inflation, but I mean, at the same time, Michael Kopech can come back. It's just like, they are so deep, in the fact that Dustin May is back. I mean, they're 6-man deep already on their major league roster. So
yeah, the pitching definitely. My worry is always Glasnow. When's the last time Glasnow's pitched a full season? Like, I'm looking at his baseball reference page. Last year was the most innings he's ever pitched in a season in his career. 2020, obviously an anomaly. They played a shortened season, but 134 innings last year. Most he's ever played in one season. And it just seems like this guy is always injured, but you do kind of have a point to where they have next man up mentality. They have got, like, Kopech, I think, would be the most likely to step in. Graterol had shoulder surgery in November, so I would assume he's not going to be back anytime soon. But it seems like they have guys just waiting for something like that to happen. The problem was last year the injuries happened, and they didn't really have the guys. You had Walker Buehler coming in every fifth day and putting up a stinker, and one other guy. Maybe I'm thinking of Gavin Stone. I can't remember. They had one other guy that would come in, and it was like it just wasn't Dodger level pitching. And they definitely felt the missing of Yamamoto for a little bit. They felt the missing of, I mean, even Ohtani. We didn't even mention the fact that Ohtani is going to be pitching this year. Yep. So, you know, it's really hard to sit here and say, like, being minus 600 to win the division is not warranted, or being slated at 103 wins is not warranted. But they've made it very clear spending money is not an issue, and they're going to spend whatever they need to do to make sure not only they have depth, but they have the best players at every position. They've done a great job of that.
Spending money isn't an issue, Dylan. In all honesty, they aren't spending money, and they're
not right now.
It was just like when we were in college and we would play 2K for our bets. We would be grinding 2K at 2:30 in the morning, and you would always win. I think by the end of my college career, I was out $400 to you in 2K, and it's like, Dylan, I don't have $5 on me right now. Well, then you can cover the Taco Bell trip at 4 a.m. right after this, or
yeah,
you know what, the money's up here.
It's all up here. It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud, and that's. Quite literally, that's what the Dodgers are doing. They're spending money that's just up here. Hey, we don't have the money to pay you right now because, you know, we got Mookie Betts on the payroll. He's non-deferred. We got Freddie Freeman, non-deferred. Shohei Ohtani. We want you to be a Dodger. We'll sign you for essentially $1 billion. But the money's just up here.
It's up here. We'll get it to you sometime.
Shohei Ohtani's AAV is literally $2 million a year. So they're able to have the best player on the planet and still have the deepest roster in MLB history. So, like, in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now, when all these players' contracts are up, Dodgers are going to stink because they're still going to be paying Ohtani. They're still going to be paying Blake Snell, Yamamoto, all these guys that are just deferring their money till later. They aren't going to have money to pay for other guys because they're going to be paying everyone through the nose. So they fully bought in for the next 10 years. Hey, this is our team. We're riding with this team. I would say the majority of them have the longest contracts possible. And like Will Smith, we're eyeglassing over Will Smith, one of the best offensive catchers, Max Muncy, who's good for almost 30 home runs a year, Teoscar, who had a massive bounce back season, Tommy Edman, just a complete menace in the postseason. And then they could go and sign someone like Hae-Sung Kim from Japan, from the KBO, and you're just like, no one even had their eyes on this guy. Like, the Dodgers know what they're doing, and it's pretty scary to see.
What is entertaining to me, you're right, it is very scary to see right now. I find a little bit of comfort in the fact that, whenever we have kids, they're going to know a Dodgers team that is absolutely garbage. And the same way we always hear about Bobby Bonilla Day, where the Mets are still paying him however much money, it's going to be Shohei Ohtani Day. And kids are going to be like, Daddy, what's up with this Shohei Ohtani guy? Why are the Dodgers still paying him however much money? And we're going to be like, you just had to be there. You had to be there for the Dodgers back-to-back World Series run. Shohei Ohtani is going to be our kid's Bobby Bonilla.
The difference between Bobby Bonilla is Bobby Bonilla didn't win a championship with the Mets.
That's true. It's a little different. A little bit of a different situation. Win total, 103.5.
I went out to the garage before this episode. I should grab the hammer. The over.
Seth.
We're looking at the best team in Major League Baseball history, Dylan.
On paper, sure. But we said the same thing last year. They won 98.
Hammer it.
Under, big time. This is just purely stats. Thinking of the normal distribution. Well, it's 104 wins. Well, that would be 104 and 58, right? Math check out.
You know how the White Sox lost 120 games?
Yeah.
It was the preview from the worst baseball team to the best baseball team. We may see 120 win seed.
We're not gonna. We did this before. Well, the 90-something Mariners, 117 wins. You think they're gonna be better than that?
I think it was 2001, wasn't it? With
Maybe
Ichiro and good old Brett Boone.
No World Series. No World Series for the Mariners.
I didn't say anything about the World Series, even though.
I mean, odds-on favorite. I'm going under 103 win. Like, just playing the probability game. One injury. You get an injury, you're screwed. Tyler Glasnow misses, and Gratterall's not ready. Kershaw's not ready. You're screwed. That's just purely odds. That I'll sell on the hype train all day long. I don't mind being contrarian. If it's illegal to be contrarian, lock me up. Los Angeles Dodgers. There we go.